Are you in control of your distribution costs? Do you know what your weekly transport expenditure is? Can you conveniently change carriers without incurring excessive IT charges? Welcome to F-Pos, the most user-friendly, flexible and cost-effective freight management system available. F-Pos operates on standalone PCs to LAN connections and right up to wide area networks. Interfacing with in-house and warehouse management systems is both economically and quickly achieved. No more modular expensive add-on systems every time you change carriers. F-Pos complies with all carrier and industry requirements, producing all carrier labels in individual format and barcode identity for each carrier on their own stationery. As part of the F-Pos installation service, we will reformat your client database, load carrier rates and services into your system and proficiently train your staff. F-Pos provides you with easy-to-use yet powerful management reporting tools, allowing quick access to freight costs, all for one low annual license fee and a one-off installation charge. F-Pos, your new multi-carrier dispatch software system. Here is an example of the F-Pos system working with a typical warehouse management system. An order is received by the company and entered into the mainframe finance and warehouse management system. The system approves the order and downloads the picking instruction to the warehouse. The order is picked in the warehouse either with scanning or manual confirmation and via the conveyor system reaches the check and pack area. Order confirmation is made in the WMS system to create the invoice whilst product is being packed. Same order confirmation is confirmed to the F-Pos system, waiting for the packer to pull the order up on the F-Pos screen by either order number, client name, or alternatively by scanning the packing list. Packer confirms number of items, weight and cube. This is an automatic download in most systems, and selects the carrier. Providing the system accepts the carrier selection against weight, cube and even the product value criteria already loaded into the F-Pos database, the specific labels required by that carrier are printed in seconds to affix to the cartons. This is also subject to the freight cost calculation of each shipment being accepted by the F-Pos system and not showing an excessive freight warning to the operator. Should a shipment already exist for the same client, F-Pos will offer the operator the choice to consolidate on the existing con note, therefore reducing freight costs. No special label stationery is required, as F-Pos is designed to use carrier stationery, so there are no hidden costs for any consumables, including hard copy freight notes, if required, or manifests or run sheets. The system prints carrier-specific barcoded labels in the format required to assist the carrier deliver your freight on time, whilst also providing a full carrier track and trace system. Should a carrier not be able to accept a free download of the client's con note file, the system will print industry-accepted generic con notes on plain A4 paper. Unlike some dispatcher systems that are 100% dependent on an internet connection, if your internet goes down, your freight with the F-Pos barcoded label is still shipped that night. And if the shipper has a local delivery fleet, the manifest system has been adopted to create a run sheet providing full freight and invoice details to obtain a clean POD. While the driver is scanning the inter- and intrastate freight onto his pickup truck, the data file is being sent by FTP or email to the carrier's depot at no cost to either the shipper or the carrier. This data file performs numerous functions in the carrier's network, from priming the sortation system to load planning for both line haul and delivery fleets, as well as being used by the finance department to raise the freight charge and initiate the track and trace system. Once the freight is in the carrier's system, the specific barcoded label created by F-Pos shows the sender, receiver, con note number and full freight details along with the carrier's head port postcode, allowing it to be scanned and tracked to its final destination. For the dispatch system with no hidden costs and accepted by all carriers, switch to F-Pos Professional. Here is a demonstration of F-Pos Professional in action. using the manual data entry procedure. Whereas most users of the F-Pos system capture this data immediately as a download from their own EDI in-house system. To enter a consignment note, we first go to the consignment entry screen. We nominate carrier service, a client from the preloaded client database, enter a reference which may or may not be required, number of items, description of items, a weight, cube if necessary, and then print. Here we can see the label being created and the shipment is ready to go. Now let's look at the store personnel's utilities screen. First, we go to the user-friendly consignment entry screen. On the top left, we have our list of the particular carriers employed, which is just a brief extract of the hundreds of carriers available in the F-Pos library. Select a carrier and service required for this particular shipment, then click Insert to move into the ConNote entry screen. The receiver is picked up from the preloaded client database by either prompting a name or account number. Then complete the consignment details of reference number, number of items, description, weight and cube, which can be automatically imported from the WMS. Another key feature of the F-Pos system is to capture the cost center, which in turn will allocate that freight cost to a particular division within the company. We also have the invoice value of that shipment to be captured by the screen, which can be later used by management to monitor freight costs as a percentage of product value shipped, a very important tool. As we progress through the day, the shipment for the various carriers and services accumulate on the system. Additional orders from clients already on today's shipping list will be highlighted by F-Pos to prompt the store person to consolidate onto the previous ConNote and therefore reduce freight costs. To also minimize freight costs, the system will notify the operator if a particular shipment is going to exceed cost parameters that have already been preset into F-Pos. For example, if a shipment were too small for a bulk carrier or too large for air freight, the store person can now reassign that shipment with a more appropriate carrier and avoid these cost penalties. At the end of the day, or at the carrier's collection time, we go to the Print Manifest screen. This displays by carrier, by service and in ConNote order all the consignments to be collected by that carrier. The manifest screen also has the ability to manifest by state and sender. This would also include the generation of a dangerous goods manifest if required. When satisfied, the operator moves to the Print Manifest button, which displays the manifest contents, then prints the manifest, whilst simultaneously downloading the ConNote file to the carrier. In some cases, this file is used to prime the carrier's sortation system as well as plan the delivery requirements for the next day. Those carriers unable to receive EDI ConNote files are issued with a generic ConNote from the F-Pos system on plain A4 paper. All the shipping data captured by F-Pos can now be used as a management tool. The access to this information can be password protected and used by authorized personnel to manage the company's freight expenditure and service levels. By going into the toolbar and selecting Reports, we can generate a query by entry report to provide information to management using the complete shipping file, including a full carrier analysis, as well as expenditure by client, cost center, state, or even down to postcode. This information, following criteria selection of date, client, service, etc., is then quickly exported to Excel for management's individually tailored reports. The F-Pos system is also designed to quickly reconcile your carrier freight invoice charges. Just select the carrier and import the file to match against shipment and costs held in F-Pos for the same period to confirm or reject the freight costs charge. To ensure freight rates in F-Pos are accurately maintained, the user-friendly rate maintenance fields have been designed for changes to the basic charge, kilo rate, minimums, fuel levies, and if necessary GST, to be quick and easy. Support to clients is always available from the F-Pos help desk as part of the annual licence fee. Extra benefits provided by the F-Pos system allow for an advanced shipping notice to be emailed at the time of dispatch to clients, advising them that the goods are en route by certain carriers and the expected day of delivery, giving full shipping details. This allows the receiver to investigate the whereabouts of the consignment by going into the F-Pos track and trace hotlink with the various carriers. This is quickly done via the internet search engine provided. We can locate a carrier, enter in the security number as provided, and up will come the proof of delivery or the whereabouts of that consignment at that particular time. With the benefit of F-Pos, another shipment is successfully delivered on time. Steve Wright from AVI Distribution, one of F-Pos's hundreds of satisfied customers Australia-wide, tells us about why he chose F-Pos and why he's glad he made the change. So Steve, what's been the major benefits of using F-Pos?
Freight was a huge expenditure and it just seemed to be a bottomless pit. We spent a fair amount of time looking at the various offerings on the market, and undoubtedly F-Pos came up as being best of the breed without a doubt because of its functionality, ease of use, which was just terrific because the system that we were using, we had so many mistakes, and certainly F-Pos was way ahead of anything else. It produces the labels, which is the basic function of any system like that. We can train people up probably in about 10 minutes of training. They're proficient in the use of it. What we've also done, and this has helped us enormously, is we've interfaced it with our ERP warehouse inventory system. It's eliminated probably 95% of the data that needed to be keyed in before. The operator merely has to scan the barcode, the information's all there, they have to key in 3 fields and the label is produced. By cutting down what they have to key in, obviously it eliminates 90% of the chances for them to make an error. A lot of other features, the safeguards in F-Pos, it warns you if potentially you've done something wrong or selected the wrong carrier. So there's so many little tools in there that assist you with getting it right, which is really important.
How many carriers do you use?
Nationally, we deal with 47 carriers because we have distribution centres in 5 states. We do use F-Pos in all of the states, and that also provides for me visibility exactly in real time of what's happening in all of those states. I can have all of them up on the screen at any one time and I can see what's going through for each carrier in every state, which is really helpful.
How does the data sharing between carriers and shippers help you at the end of the week to monitor the flow of costs?
That's always been a huge problem, certainly with dealing with 47 different carriers and just reconciling and checking their invoices, and that was a hugely time-consuming job, which has now improved dramatically.
Does that information flow help you with your annual budget?
We did have a freight management system in place at the time, and basically it was a glorified labelling machine. That's really all it was. We didn't get any management tools, any meaningful information out of it whatsoever. With the previous system that we were using, it would appear that it was a very cheap system to buy, but there were just so many hidden costs along the way that when you added it up, it was actually costing us a huge amount of money because you had to buy their stationery, buy their con notes, their labels, and that was just ongoing and ongoing, and you tended not to notice it. However, the history that we now have with F-Pos and the detailed information as to where it's going and when it's going, we can not only look at better ways of getting it there, but also we can plan budget a lot more accurately for the future. And he is being able to go back to the carriers with accurate data and say, well, look, this is where the majority of our usage is. What can we do about getting better rates for here? Or alternatively, going to another carrier and saying, okay, this is what we're doing, what rates can you give us? So it actually provides a very good negotiating tool, and you can back it up with real data. You can show them in black and white, this is